department and in the time and hill department.
All right, well, here we are, starting to finally get into ban and protects for this one. Matt, Will, anything that's standing out for you there thus far?
You see the L car go early. I mean, that's a very good sidearm a lot of people like to use. And then you see TAC Mask getting protected. Definitely want to have TAC Mask, you know, the tacticals in this game, pretty powerful. And Rapid Fire goes as well, Maven. I think that's a good one to get rid of.
Well, seeing Flak Jacket banned, that makes me think they're going to want to be breaking these hills with lethals for sure. You're not going to have anything to really deal with that, so watch out for those frags coming in.
I mean, if you are E6 and Flak Jacket's gone, maybe get rid of frag grenades, because you got to think that maybe the guys on Apotheon, Fizzer, double nades. I mean, that's a logical look right off the bat here from what we're watching.
Oh, and the high caliber ban too. So just kind of getting rid of whatever's really popular and works across all the different.
Well, high caliber is a real talked about one amongst the pros, because you talk about the fact that sometimes you get that first shot, a player turns, and because of that little bit of a jump you get with the shot, it's leading to headshots. So I'm just interested to see how often they're going to be banning that one.
Yeah, I think that's one we could see go throughout the day, and that's an interesting one. So you got Fears, who's going to be an AR player in the back, going Seraph Annihilator. You like that call, gets that pistol, able to take players out with one shot. Dito goes with Psychosis. So that's one that I wouldn't expect a player who's going to be, that anchor back AR position to take. But it's an interesting one. I think that's one he can make viable.
That's more of a kind of break into the hill. But no, maybe he wants to use it on that rotation to anchor, kind of throw that player off when he's getting in that power position, getting ready to get set up.
We do see Sensor with Heatwave as well.
Yes.
That's one that I've been watching a ton online. I haven't really seen Heatwave used in respawn game modes. I've seen TP do some interesting stuff with it, Search and Destroy, and Lacefield actually brings out for Apotheon as well. Fizzer with the War Machine, I think that's going to be a very good pick.
I mean, yeah, with that Flak Jacket being out, I mean, that's going to be pretty crucial when you're trying to break those hills.
Yeah, the two that really stand out to me, that War Machine definitely is going to be monstrous without the Flak Jacket. But just taking a look, you have the Scythe on one side, the War Machine on the other. Those are going to be your real heavy hitters for this one.
I'm interested to see how Dito uses the Psychosis.
Yeah.
Whether he uses it, maybe let's say he decides to rotate early, late, and he has the Psychosis. Does he pop it, try and get the anchor on the opposing team to fire off some shots? Then he knows where his position is on the minimap, and then goes to challenge that gunfight. So I think it could come into certain situations that way.
Yeah, I mean, you got to imagine with the specialists coming in here in Black Ops 3, it's going to be really different from what you expect to see in your regular games in your posts, because what they are thinking, especially working as a team, the communication, Psychosis is one where there's deeper levels of use for that.
Yeah, certainly is. And, just for those of you that might be new to this, maybe you're new to Black Ops 3 or Call of Duty in general, the period we have now, after we go through the ban and protect, after we go through the specialists, this is a period of time for the players to get their classes set up. You have stuff that gets banned. You might have had all your classes set up beforehand, but stuff gets banned. You have to make some changes. Exactly. So everybody getting their stuff prepared. Wonderful hairdo there on Saints as he's locked and ready to go. What do they call? They call that the fluff.
If I could pull it off, I'd wear it too, for sure.
Maven doesn't know many hairstyles. He only knows.
I know the comb it forward.
The comb forward.
Pray doesn't fly around,
but it is.
Thanks, buddy.
It is pretty uniform. But the players definitely have a little bit more liberty. As you said, they're also going to go through their score streaks and whatnot. Just time to adjust to the bans and protects, and also perhaps what specialists you've seen each team pick.
It's talking about score streaks, Will. We haven't seen the RC car on respawn games a lot. I haven't seen Karma, wall running with the RC car, bringing it into hills, trying to break. Maybe we see something like that on this first hardpoint.
Yeah, the HCXD, I mean, with the wall running and the boost it can get from the jumps, I mean, it can go some crazy places.
The reason I think it's been used a lot more, a lot of these maps, you have hardpoints that are inside of a building.
Yes.
It doesn't help you with the lightning storm, doesn't help you with the hellstorm really to break those hardpoints. So a lot of time you'll see that HC car can actually become very effective in breaking hardpoints. And also, you've heard players talking, this isn't the hellstorm of Black Ops 2. There are some changes. You don't always get all the kills. Even when sometimes when you have players highlighted, you're not going to be picking up all the kills. So sometimes you'll see that change out of Hellstorm. You'll see that HC car make a difference.
No Flak Jacket as well.
Yeah.
Like we talked about, no Flak Jacket.
Yeah,
so
that
definitely
all the
going to be even more powerful.
Are going to be pretty crucial. Well, it looks like all the players are getting set up, ladies and gentlemen. This is the very first look we're going to get. It's going to kick off with that hard point, and to bring the first game will be your commentators. It is going to be Revan and Chance.
Thanks, guys. You did an amazing job in the analysis. And first thing I got to touch on, obviously no Flak Jacket. Fizzer getting to steal with that War Machine, but we're going to kick things off with Sensor. So right now, I think E6, they're obviously starting on the good side, Chance. They are the first ones into the hard point. You see Sensor already starting to rack up some time.
Yeah, and this is something the E6 guys were actually talking about before the match even started. They recognized what they're doing, and they were talking about it when there's about 30 seconds left is when you're going to see them start to push through. Of course, it looks like the spawns have gotten flipped already. Now, technically, it is going to be your Apotheon squad coming from the good side to try and break in, but of course, it's all about rotations on hardpoint for Black Ops 3. victory. And E6 so far looks like they were doing, well, what they originally wanted until they get broken down.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty quick break there from Apotheon. They were able to get there, and they might be able to tie the game up here. And they're already starting to rotate, so you see the team starting to fight for position towards the next hard point, and you see Fizzerp making his way towards the anchor position. Lacefield takes out Dito, and here comes Fizzerp from the behind. He might be able to find some kills here, and he does, and that's going to be great for Apotheon. This map is all about early rotation and early control on the hard points. This is going to be a great start for Apotheon here.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about how important those rotations are, the final 10 seconds of the previous hill, both teams just went ahead and gave up fighting for the next spawns. Because you see Apotheon, they only have a 5-point lead now, but I guarantee you after this hill, it's going to be quite a bit different unless E6 can pull something together. Of course, players trying to break into the hill as we speak. Fizzerp, though, going to be able to pick up 2, does commit suicide. However, the spawns have actually gotten broken as well. E6 was able to send 1 player on the flank. He is going to get taken down. So now it is going to be E6 starting to catch back up.
Okay, so Fizzerp using the dart here, but 25 seconds remaining in the hardpoint. You got to wonder, is it worth it for Apotheon? Let's jump over to Legal. He's going to try to break this hardpoint. He gets taken down. Back over to Fizzerp. He's coming around the flank, but 15 seconds left. It's at a certain point where you got to wonder, am I feeding too many kills? Am I letting the other team get too close to their specialists, too close to their score streaks? But the next hardpoint coming up is going to be in this middle hardpoint. Legal doesn't finish the kill here. It's going to be his teammate Lacefield helping him out there. So it's going to be, once again, Apotheon setting up early for this next hardpoint.
Yeah, and it is something very important to bring up. How aware are these players going to be of when their opponent is going to be getting closer to those score streaks? There's a huge mental game. You know, normally you expect the mental game to just be in search and destroy, but now even hardpoint, the player's awareness is just going to be going through the roof to recognize these various things. And not even when your opponent is going to be getting closer to streaks, but if you have a teammate that starts to go on a 3, 4, 5 kill streak, when the rotations come in, you got to let him get the points, let him pick up kills. If you see trophy systems on the map, allow that guy to start shooting down. Now you can see the streaks have actually come in. Fizzerp able to use that dart, and I think we also saw an HC car pick up a kill.
Nice. So I got to jump over to Fizzerp. So this is the hardpoint where the War Machine is going to be a big factor, but he doesn't have that just yet. You see the Purifier being acquired by Illegal, but now it's going to be E6 taking control of the hardpoint. Let's jump back over to Sensor. Off to a rough start, but you know, I don't want to say that's expected of Sensor, but he's mainly going to be the objective player. You're looking for him to just get a bunch of time on that hardpoint, but time's starting to wind down, and you got to wonder, where is Apotheon on this rotation? They just broke the anchor, but initial control does go to E6.
E6, though, is going to be spawning out, so it's going to be a 2-2 gunfight inside the hill. It looks like the Purifier is going to come in full effect. Legal, able to pick up 2 kills, and that is a very quick fake from Apotheon. Of course, he's going to have to hold it down, but you can see the Purifier just being used absolutely perfectly right here.
Nice.
You just have to touch the player for a second, and you are guaranteed to get that kill. And Legal, while he's inside the hill, using the Purifier, able to pick up streaks. Even when he's stunned out, he is going to be able to pick up even more kills. Now just 75 points from getting that Talon.
Yeah, so something to take note of, when you use that heat wave, it also destroys like all the tacticals that are set up inside the hardpoint, so no more trophies set up inside here. But because Legal was in the hardpoint getting those defense, now he has that Hellstorm missile. He's got the dart ready to use. Here comes Spears trying to break the hardpoint, finds one, takes down Sensor, currently contested. Let's jump over to Saints. So you heard the commentator or the analyst saying Saints obviously had a phenomenal season in Ghosts. He's a very consistent slayer, but he's even right now at 10-10 as E6. They're trailing right now by around 20 points. It's time to rotate to the next hardpoint. We're going towards bottom control.
Of course, bottom control is going to be a very easy hill to hold if you can get full control right off the bat, and it looks like Apotheon is going to have 3 players inside. Of course, 1 player is spawning across the map. I believe that was actually Fizzerp, who was able to pick up a kill on Sensor. Of course, though, Fear is going to be up top AC, trying to lock it down, is going to have 2 players in front of him, and he's one-shot. It looks like both those players are going to choose to go down front. Fear's able to pick up 1, and it looks like he's going to be able to play his life as well.
All right, moving over to Fizzerp. He does have the War Machine, and this is going to be a time to use it. Oh, and there you go. Takes out 1. The War Machine just doing a lot of work. That Band and Protect really working in favor of Fizzerp here. The Scythe coming out from Dito as they're trying to break the hardpoint. Let's move over to him. Actually, sorry, that was Saints with the Scythe here, but Dito moves in to break the hardpoint. Fierce takes out the Annihilator. He quickly gets cleaned up. It's just Carnage going down here near bottom control, but it's going to be Apotheon starting to build themselves around a 50-point lead as we're moving back over towards the bar for the next hardpoint.
Yeah, that was just the hill of specialists. Each team using theirs. We saw Scythe to try and break in. We saw the War Machine trying to play a little bit of defense. Then, of course, Fears with that Annihilator was able to hold it down as well. So Apotheon was able to build up a decent chunk of time on that hill. They were were able to take a 60-point lead. Of course, though, E6 is going to be the first ones on the rotation over towards Palace or over towards Bar. But you can see Lacefield already going to get inside. He is going to get taken down, shot in the back by Dito. And right now we are seeing E6 leave about 3 people inside of this hill.
So if you want to break this hard point, I really think you want to lead with an EMP to try to take out the trophies and then just throw a smoke in through the front door and just try to cause chaos. But Apathy, he does have that Purifier. I wonder when he's going to decide to use it. I'm going to move over to the Sensor. Let's see what's going wrong for Sensor. I mean, he does have a minute 13 in the hard point, but he's just not picking up the kills here. It's left up to Dito and really Saints to try and pick up the slack here. Dito trying to lead the way into the hard point. He gets taken down. Saints to follow it up. And so far, it's a great defense by Apotheon. And, you know, going into this match, I was thinking Apotheon, they're really strong in the search and destroys, right? And my question with them is, how are they going to hang with the respawns? If they're able to steal 1 respawn here, I think they're going to be in a good position. But 5 seconds remaining, and they actually... The rotation is going to be won by E6 here. You see Apathy, he sets up inside the hardpoint, and here comes the Purifier.
And this is where they need to use their specialists as well. If they get a full 60, they will be right back in this game. It looks like Lacefield actually fell off the map when he was trying to wall run as well, and that's not going to help the spawns out at all. Interestingly, though, the Purifier is getting used right now, but he doesn't have to use it as defense. It literally is just taking Apotheon that far to get around. Of course, by the time they finally get there, 20 seconds into the hill, then they get shot in the face by a flamethrower and get taken down immediately. Of course, the spawns have flipped. Apotheon going to be coming in the back, but still, they have to deal with Apathy still rocking the Purifier.
You know, I was watching that mini-map there, and Legal, he was the last one alive, and I really like what he decided to do there. As Carnage just going down once again, Fizzer finds himself the last one alive. Apotheon unable to break the hardpoint there, but Legal was the last one alive. He decided not to push, and he's like, okay, listen, I'm pushed up as far as I can. My teammates are off respawn. I'm just going to stay alive and just wait for him to come help. 10 seconds remaining in the current hardpoint. We're going back over to the middle. Let's jump over to Legal. He still has this dart to use.
And E6, the fact that they were able to get that full 60 are going to be right back in this game. Apotheon, it seemed like they were just taking forever to get all the way across the map, and there was just nothing they could do. Of course, though, now into this middle hill, it is going to be Lacefield, I believe that is, sitting inside, and he's on a head glitch as well, though. He is going to lose his gunfight. Apathy able to pick that one up, and Dito going to fall him up very quickly. E6 trying to take control, of course, is going to be very back and forth. Saints, though, able to pick up Legal. It does appear that E6 still able to retain control.
So hard to hold on to this hardpoint without Blackjack. You really got to rely on those trophy systems there, but Apotheon, they keep trying to push it and break it, but so far it's been good defense by E6, and Chance, they're bringing it back. They're about to tie the game up, and that just goes to show you rotate early enough, you get your ideal setup, and anything could happen. And as soon as I say that, Apotheon, they break, but Saints, he's got some score streaks to use.
Yeah, I mean, if you told me there was a player that was triple negative and then the game was still close even with that happening, I would be very surprised. Just shows you
2 minutes, 3 seconds inside the hardpoint. That's great.
That's very true, but when you get those rotations down, that's when you pick up the full 60s. Those are the hills that make the difference when you lock them down for the entire time. Of course, though, just 2 seconds left on the hill. We are going to be rotating over towards Greenhouse, and it is going to be Apotheon that is in control. Now we just have to see if they can hold on from the defensive line against E6.
Yeah, let's move over to somebody inside the hardpoint. I want to check out this guy, Lacefield. He has the heat wave available to use. As you see, E6, they're going to try to break, and I think this is the right call. Just try to hit it from multiple angles. You see players trying to jump on the roof, but it's going to be Saints and Fears and picking up kills inside the kill feed, and right now Apotheon, they're starting to regain that lead, but of course with the new hardpoint rules, you really got to learn how to close out games. They can win on this hardpoint, so E6 have to commit to the break here.
Yeah, that's a huge point. I know we're going to have to see it at least a few times in Black Ops 3 where a team racks up a huge lead and the other team just comes back and locks it down, making a gigantic comeback. We are never really mathematically impossible. We have to go to the 250 point, or at least when the pros are playing, that's how it's going to go down. But we saw a break from E6. They weren't allowing Apotheon to get the entire time. Of course, they are still going to be working from the deficit, and they're not going to be out of it yet. But Apotheon, they're going to be over there for the early rotations over towards this bottom control hill.
So what do you think about the lightning strike there? You just saw a legal call it in. Obviously, you get more than a fair warning of when they're going to use that score streak, and now Fierce takes out the Annihilator, but Lightning Strike is pretty interesting. I see some mixed reviews about the players on it.
Well, at the same time, though, you at least get the information of where the players from E6 are going to be coming from, and when you know you have the early control of the hill, you just want a heads up of where they're going to be, because they only need 4 more seconds, and they're going to be able to close out this game. Fizzerp, again, pulling out the War Machine on that hill. They just need 1 more second. The contest is coming in. Players right now just flooding, but that is not going to do it. Again, that is twice on that bottom control hill. We saw the Specialist gets whipped out. The Purifier was there from, I believe it was legal, and we're actually, well, potentially going to see that in the final kill cam. He was able to get it, but again, the War Machine from Fizzerp, when there's no flak jacket, able to hold that final hill down.
Oh, so you see Legal also using overclock, so or afterburner there. Really, really good job by Apotheon, and like I was saying, if they could steal a respawn, because there are 2 search and destroys here, I think that's really going to favor them. A final look at the scoreboard, 31-20 from Legal. Fantastic slaying job done by them as a Sensor racking up 2 minutes and 36 seconds inside the hill. Objective work just wasn't enough. I want to head over to our analysts and see their thoughts on that first map.